you doing, everybody? I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
This is Smacktalk.
It's been a while, but we're back.
Yep.
Congratulations to my boy. Flash the ring. He's married. He's not flipping you guys off. That's his wedding ring.
My wedding ring.
He also got a tattoo on the inside of his finger that says forever. So he's on lockdown permanently. Yeah, congratulations to Tony. Beautiful wedding. Let's get back into business. We're going to talk about the NHL Playoffs. NHL Playoffs have started. And some surprise, something that's dangerous to Tony is the Blues have taken a 2-0 lead against the Hawks. Both games.
Yeah.
4-3 overtime victories for the Blues. Both times the Blackhawks had a lead in the third period.
With less than 2 minutes remaining.
Well, I'll say game 2 was worse because they scored to tie it with 6-something seconds to go.
Yeah.
And I'll have to admit, live on television, I had just taken the jersey off to take a dump.
You jujued me wrong.
I didn't see the tying goal, but I took the jersey
Oh, man.
off, went in, took a dump, came back, and it was going to overtime, and I felt horribly bad. So
Yeah,
they were winning. I put the jersey on. They came back from 2-0 down to 3-2. I was like, oh, we're good.
The Flyers
It was
decided...
like 30-something seconds to go.
All right, let's move on. The Blues look good with Ryan Miller right now. The key for the Hawks, I think, is to do what they did against Boston last year in the Stanley Cup and just get people in front of the net, in front of Ryan Miller, and block his vision like Andrew Shaw or somebody like that. If they don't do that, they're not winning. Sorry. I know they're at home tonight, but we'll see what happens.
Is it Vic Bollig? Bollig, is he getting suspended for
Bollig is in the minor league. Seabrook got suspended for a hit on David Backes for 3 games.
Yeah, only 3. So
Three games.
That's not that bad.
No, it's not as bad as
because that hit was
expected.
Yeah,
the Sharks are absolutely killing the Kings.
Oh, just murdering them.
They put a combined like 12 goals in the first 2 games. Yeah, Jonathan Quick got taken out of the first game.
Yeah.
Which is like huge. They're up 2-0. Columbus surprising everybody, getting into the playoffs. Not only getting into the playoffs, now they're tied with Pittsburgh.
And they came back 3-1 against the Penguins.
I love it. I love it.
First ever playoff victory. First ever trip to the playoffs. First ever playoff victory. Same season. A lot of times you get teams that make the playoffs the first times and then
get swept right out.
Yeah, but not the Blue Jackets. They're
a solid team. They're a quality team.
I think we called that.
We did call it.
Yeah.
We did call it that they would be dangerous. They're a team full of role players. That's what it is. They don't have one superstar.
They're the San Francisco Giants of hockey. They just got a bunch of guys that do their job. Nobody's special. Nobody's extraordinary.
No star player. It does help that they have a Vezina-winning goalie in Sergei Bobrovsky, who's the glue of the defense, basically. But if you can't get it by him, you can't score, you can't win games. Yeah. So as long as they play a gritty game and they hit you around and score 1 or 2 goals, they've got a chance.
Canadians have taken a 3-0 lead on Tampa Bay. That's a little bit more surprising. I thought that series was going to be a little tougher.
You know what the thing is once Tampa Bay thought they were out of it, so they traded Martin St. Louis to the Rangers. And we'll talk to them about them in a second. And then they snuck into the playoffs, and this is what happened. Yeah. You lose your star player, you suck. It's 3-0, and you're pretty much done. Yeah. The Flyers decided they wanted to play hockey in the playoffs finally, and they evened up the series against the Rangers 1-1. Lundqvist just kind of had a bad game, so we'll see what happens in the next game with them.
Flyers are another role-playing team. Yeah.
They got Scotty Hartnell and Claude Giroux.
Hartnell's still good.
Yeah, he's a little older. Claude Giroux's their star player. Zach Ronaldo's a mean mofo.
Yep.
They just don't have a goalie. They have Ray Emery and Steve Mason. I mean, Ray Emery last year with the Hawks was great because he was with the Hawks.
Defense. They don't have the same defense that they have
exactly.
with the Hawks. Yeah.
The Bruins take game 2 against
the Red Wings.
Your Red Wings.
Yeah, the Red Wings, not my Red Wings. I'm just saying.
Whatever.
I think they look dangerous.
4-1.
But Pavel Datsyuk, man, you can't mess with Pavel Datsyuk.
Yeah, Jimmy Howard looked inconsistent as usual.
Yeah,
and the series is tied 1-1. Colorado. This is the team to watch out for. They're a hot young team. Patrick Waugh,
coach. Did you see what he did in a game 1? The tight game. He pulled the goalie like me. He pulled him with 2 minutes and some seconds to go. I was so happy. I was like, that's what I'm talking about. And they were losing. They tie the game. They go on to win in overtime. And it just goes to show you.
What do you got though? You're playing a team, Minnesota, who lost their starting goalie in Nicholas Backstrom to injury. Their backup goalie has MS. So he's out for the whole season. They had to sign a guy out of Las Vegas Wranglers in Ilya Bryzgalov to be their starter. He played for the ECHL Las Vegas Wranglers right here in town.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear anything.
They still got Zach Parise.
Yeah, Zach Parise is great. Yeah. Ryan Suter, great. Yeah. 2 great American players. But 2 players don't make a team.
Yeah.
Well, hockey, you need 9.
But it just shows you Colorado's a solid team.
Colorado is a very solid team.
So I think Minnesota that game 1, if they'd have won that, would have changed the series. Now that's a deflating loss. The Ducks, Anaheim Ducks, they're absolutely destroying
quack quack
Dallas, which is not a surprise to us. Anaheim, they won the President's Trophy, if I'm correct, right? Yeah, so which is good because it's gonna be the first time that the President's Trophy winner, and actually recently the President's Trophy winner has made it out of the first round. Where if we go back 4 or 5 years, it seemed like the first round, San Jose Capitals, they were always losing.
And once the Ducks,
they were always losing. So Ducks, I mean Dallas is. If you watch hockey, no one ever was going to pick Dallas to do anything in the playoffs. They were a solid contender to make the playoffs, but they were never. They're not built for the playoffs. They're built for the regular season.
They're the Oakland A's of the NHL. They're built to make the playoffs, not win in the playoffs.
Get the money, get the extra tickets, make some money, go home.
Definitely. I mean, they're in Dallas. I mean, you have to make the playoffs to draw fans out there, and they do that, but they never make a serious run to the Stanley Cup. They did in the 90s, and that's a long time ago.
They made a movie about it with Dude Had the Heart with Marissa Tomei and Kevin Bacon.
What?
That's when they first moved from the Minnesota
North Stars. Yeah, I remember.
They moved down to Dallas.
All right, we got ours and mine and Shawn's top 3 favorites to win the Stanley Cup. I hate doing this. I'm gonna start with mine. My number 1 is the St. Louis Blues. You cannot get past Ryan Miller. It looks like I'm watching this firsthand. They got scorers T.J. Oshie. They got David Backes. They got who's injured now. They got Steve Ott.
Yeah, Ott.
Oh my God, it's Ott's a solid squad.
Yeah, and we called it, and I said this, and it's come true. It just hasn't worked out for the Blackhawks. I said that the only hope for anyone against the Blues is that Ryan Miller has given up goals, and he has been giving up goals.
3 a game.
But they're scoring 4.
Yeah.
So, if he shakes that off,
look,
you could go on a run. A goalie, go.
I've seen teams go up 2-0, 3-1, and blow it.
Yeah.
Okay. The Red Wings were heavily favored against the Hawks on 3-1 when they were up 3-1. Not in the series. They weren't favored in the series, but once they were up 3-1, they were heavily favored, and all of a sudden, drop off.
Yeah.
Guys put their heads down and they don't want to play anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. See what the Blues are made of tonight when they play the Hawks. If they can take the Hawks in Chicago, series over.
So I got the Blues as my number 3 pick. My number 1 pick is the Detroit Red Wings. Just because, look, they skated by all year long. Injuries, suspensions, everything that could go wrong for a Red Wings fan has gone wrong this year. But they're still in the playoffs. They're playing Boston, who rode a magnificent streak to get to the first seed.
Yeah.
But now you're in the playoffs. And it's the one thing about the Red Wings is the playoffs is their game. That's what they do. And so I think Boston is going to find themselves quickly in a dogfight.
Yeah, they might go 7 games.
And then the Red Wings, the reason why I got the Red Wings, because once they win this series, I'm going to say they're going to beat Boston. They're just going to dominate people because that's when their confidence gets up.
Not to mention they have one of the greatest coaches in the NHL right now. Behind our coach, Joe Quenneville, who is my second pick, Chicago Blackhawks. With the experience, with the young guys, Kane and Taves coming back, with the brawlers like Andrew Shaw, with the defense of Keith and Seabrook, even though Seabrook's out 3 games, you still got Hjalmarsson, you still got Leddy.
Hjalmarsson blocking shots like crazy, taking them to the body.
If Corey Crawford can step up and be an above-average goalie, not just an average goalie, then the Hawks will come back and win this series.
I'll say something that I've noticed different from this year versus last year's playoff. Andrew Shaw is a lot more confident with the puck.
But he's a lot less confident hitting people. And that's what sucks. Because last year he was trying to make his name, he was trying to get on the team, and he was going out like a little Tasmanian devil and just knocking people out. But he doesn't do that anymore. He got a contract now. He doesn't want to get hurt. You got to find that guy who's willing to do that. And they got a guy like Ben Smith, and a young guy that came out of the minor leagues in Rockford that's ready to go. He needs to step up, get in front of the goalie, take a puck to the face. As long as it drops in front of you, and you put it in the net.
Take a puck to the face. I'm gonna shoot a puck.
That's fine. As long as
take a puck to the face.
As long as it drops in front of me and I put it in the net, that's all that counts.
One of the best shots I've seen in the playoffs this year was the Blues to tie the game, and it was nearsighted through traffic. And it went through like the smallest crease. I'm just saying that like the smallest crease I've seen a puck go through. Literally, it was sideways. The puck was flipping. It was a knuckler, and it went the only path it could. It's like the Death Star. It's got to go into the 2-inch shaft. It was like that. It was crazy. And they tied it, and they went up and went overtime. I couldn't pick the Blues as my number 2 team. I wanted to put not the Blues. Couldn't pick the Hawks because they're down 2-0. And I know the Hawks, they can come back. I just couldn't put them in my top 3. So my number 2, I picked the Avalanche.
I hate
Patrick Wall's a coach. I know, I'm sorry, but the Avalanche, I'm sorry, but whoever comes out of the West is winning the Stanley Cup.
Well, yeah. Did you see the Eastern Conference this year?
It's ridiculous. My number 3 team is the Blues. I just said this earlier. They look solid. They got Ryan Miller in goal. It's probably the best trade that franchise is going to ever make because he's going to be their goalie for quite some time. Like Tony said, tonight we'll find out what they're made of in Chicago. It's not just tonight; it's tonight and Wednesday because they could lose tonight. If they steal one in Chicago, they're in good shape. Going back to St. Louis.
They're not going back to St. Louis. There's 2 in Chicago.
Yeah, there's 2 in Chicago. If it's 2-2, then we got a game.
We got a series.
3-1, it's over.
Yeah. Well, no. I mean, last year the Red Wings went 3-1. We still came back and we won. So we'll see what happens, man. Okay. You know what? Tonight is the pivotal game. 3-0 is 0 chance.
Yeah.
We all know that in all of sports.
Your number 3 team.
The Anaheim Mighty Ducks. Quack, quack.
Quack, quack.
Killing people. Corey Perry, Ryan Getzlaf, Jonas Hiller in goal. I'm loving this team right now.
If we go back like a couple weeks ago and you look at a segment, I think me and Tony, we were hating on the Ducks big time.
Dude, we were hating on the Ducks because they were on a losing streak, and that's what media does. Okay, so
yeah, we were on there.
Right now, they're hot. They're playing.
What I want to know is nobody's got the Habs. Nobody's got the Habs. They're playing great hockey.
I don't care.
They're playing great hockey.
I don't care. Forget that.
The Montreal Canadiens are playing great. Granted, they're playing Tampa Bay. So they could go out and
this segment is already too long talking about hockey. Okay. Go Blackhawks.
Stay tuned for segment 2. We're watching the Hawks game later tonight. It's in Chicago. It's going to be a pivotal game.
If you're around in Las Vegas, Sporting Life Bar is the way to go. I'll be watching all the Hawks games from now on there. We will be there. Yeah, you won't check it now, but maybe next game.
Yeah. Thanks. Watch segment 2. Check out for the bounce.
Watch the bounce.
Oh, I'm Shawn Adams with Tony Gaglione. Smacktalk.
They didn't know